Hey everybody, thank you for joining. If you're just now joining, I'm just getting started. So give me a few minutes to get in here. Let's see. Let me know if you can see and hear me clearly. It looks stuck on my end. I don't know. Can y'all hear me? Hey y'all. It's been a minute. I miss you too, Toya. Yay. It's great to see you all. I'm hoping that this is not like super delayed because I can't see some things. So, welcome back. What's up, Sean for short? If you're jumping on, let me know where you're jumping on from. What's up, Megan? How are you? Let me know where y'all are at. Y'all know I'm coming from Phoenix, this hot place, Phoenix, Arizona. Hey, I can do all things. Been a long time. Thank you. Thank you all for messaging me, checking on me, making sure I'm good. But I'm here to let y'all know I'm back. I'm back. And today I do want to talk to you all for a hot minute. We're going to see. But as long as we're good, I just got to make sure I can see these comments. You know, because I like to engage. What's up, Preach? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. Well, yeah. So it's been a minute. I think the last time I went live was 3 months ago. Probably early May before Mother's Day. And hey D Forex, what's up, Courtney? And yeah, y'all, it's been a ride. It's been a journey. As some of you may know, my mother passed. She transitioned June 18th, and yeah, it's been a ride, but God is good. And the crazy thing is, the last time I went live, I was talking to you all about how my father, when my father passed in 2018, and so my mother, she had been battling cancer for about 3.5 years, and so we kind of knew what was going on and where she was at in her journey, but yeah, I don't even know what to say about it, but like I said, God is good. And I think that one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk to you all about is really how we see transition. For me, I think what I really gained from this whole scenario was just really understanding, like, I don't know, like, well, let me say this. My mother's passing made me ask myself, how can I be a better woman? My mother was just joyful. She was full of smiles, full of love, full of laughter. And in those last 6 weeks of her life, because we were told maybe about a couple days after Mother's Day that she had 2 months to live. And, being that my mother had been diagnosed, and what she was diagnosed was a very rare and aggressive cancer from 3 years ago. In my heart of hearts, like, I had already been like grieving because I kind of knew like it's imminent, but God gave us time. He gave us so much time, and that gave me time to serve her, to bond with her. And so when she was given 2 months, I shut everything down. I moved into my mother's house. I was with her every day, every moment. And it was crazy to me because my mother had so much grace and so much peace in her process. And it was like my mother was teaching me so much in that time. Like, she went from talking to not talking, walking to not walking. And when she couldn't even speak anymore, she was still smiling. Listen, y'all, it was so such a teaching and learning moment. Some of you know I went to nursing school. And so when I went to nursing school, at that time, I thought I was going to be a nurse. And that was over 20 years ago. And so now my mother, she's at hospice at home. And so we have the nurses coming by. And, we had a CNA come like one time. And after that CNA came the first time, I was like, nah, we don't even need her. No disrespect, but let me take care of my mama. You know what I mean? And so it was crazy how, like, I really feel like nothing is for nothing. And what I mean by that is like things that you may learn, things that you may experience that seem like they have no significance. It's crazy how God will bring it full circle. And so I went to school for nursing 20 years ago. Never thought I would ever use these skills again, because not long after that, I opened my salon. And so I never went back to nursing. But it was crazy how just in a moment, like those instincts, all that I learned just came rushing back because it was necessary for that time. And I had the privilege and the honor to serve my mom. And so, as I've talked to a lot of people about, my mother's passing or whatever, they're always just amazed. And they're like, you seem so, I don't know, just your perspective and the way you see things and the way you're even dealing with is very rare. And I'm just like, well, what do you mean? Because this is the only way I know how to, I guess, grieve. And, one of my friends, he was like, a lot of times people, they just lament, and I understand from that perspective, like, you've lost their physical presence. And, I felt like I lost my mom before I lost her, if that makes sense, because of the life that she exuded, the love, the joy, the laughter. I mean, she was the most youthful person I know. I literally would describe her as jolly, right? And I can't even say that I would ever call somebody jolly, but my mother was very much a jolly person. She was 74 years old. And so he was saying to me, like, you're the way you talk about it is just different. And I was like, you know what? The way I feel about it is different. I know a lot of times people be like, I'm sorry for your loss. I'm sorry for your loss. And for me, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, yes, I lost my mother's physical presence, but in essence, I feel like I gained. And I know that might sound crazy, but I gained so much from the simple fact that I understand now. I gained an awareness. I understand, like, literally what I've inherited. My mother, how do I say this? When we think about people transitioning and we hear like the certain terminology that's associated with it, death, past, meaning the past, I think it takes on a connotation and this finality that I don't necessarily ascribe to, right? And so when I even think of the word past, P-A-S-S-E-D, those two words have a connotation of when you pass a test, you win. Or when you're past something, you receive something. And my mother passed some things to me. And so when I really think about like her life and her legacy and all the things that I've inherited, all the things that are literally locked within me, a friend said to me, he was just like, the way that you speak about it, it seems like something was unlocked within you. And I was just like, that's crazy, because I kind of felt that. It was like sometimes your parents can take you but so far, that they've given you all they could give you. And sometimes we don't even realize all that we've been given until after the fact. We don't even realize the gift that they were in life until after the fact. And so it was almost like in order for me to step into what I need to step into next, there were certain things that had to be unlocked. And so what do I mean by that? I think the joy that my mother carried, I didn't even know how to necessarily like exude that. And now it's like, how can I honor her other than to become that? Does that make sense? How else do we honor our parents? How else do we honor our loved ones but to take those characteristics that we all can exude and become that? And so when I think about my mom again, she smiled all the time. Like my mother didn't even she didn't just smile. She smiled with her whole face. She didn't just smile with her mouth. She smiled with her whole face. And I'm thinking, how can I be more joyful? How can I smile more? How can I love more? And so I didn't think about it until, obviously after, but I lost my father in 2018. I lost my mother 2 months ago. And again, I don't even like to say the word lost, right? They just transitioned and they graduated. You know what I'm saying? Like they passed this test. right? But it's for us to pass our test. And so when I think about like us transitioning and like, the Bible talks about we're sojourners here. Like we're just passing through. But as we pass through, we have things to deposit. We have gifts to release, right? And so my mom had so many gifts that I'm now being able to, glean from all the things that she's given. But it's like the gifts that all of us are given. Do we know how to release those so when other people have come into our contact, they've been impacted in such a way that it changes them? My mother was like just that. You know what I mean? She was just that. But what I really started to think about is like we really have to get to the place where we, at least, maybe not say we, I did. I had to get to the place where I didn't look at what I lost, but literally what was past. Like with my father, he passed to me the belief in myself, having courage, having the vision that God had given him, that God allowed him to see, that he passed on to me. And so when we think about loss, we're not thinking about what we gained. For me, it was like, what did you receive? So you can't lose when you've received something. You feel what I'm saying? And so again, like, yeah, my mother's physical presence isn't here, but when I laugh, she laughs. When I smile, she smiles. And it's funny because I did a live earlier this year, and I was talking about how I really felt like I needed to smile more. I don't know if any of y'all had been on that live. And I was just talking about how, I didn't realize how a lot of times we can be so unconscious because we don't see ourselves. The average amount of time you see yourself in a day is maybe 2 minutes. I mean, ain't nobody staring in the mirror like forever. You know what I mean? So you might see yourself for an average of 2 minutes out of how many 14,000 minutes there are in a day. Somebody can go check that because I'm not sure how many minutes there are. But we don't see ourselves. And so many times if you don't see yourself, you're not aware of yourself. And so I became more aware of my disposition, of the tension in my face. And I started to realize like, I need to smile more. And when I look at my mother got an Instagram, and I'm so grateful that she had an Instagram. She was 74. We used to call her Gram on the gram. Okay. She had an Instagram. And so during those months and those weeks when she was fading, her expression wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Except for, I would get glimmers of who she is, but it was like she was fading. And, it made me really want to like take a deeper look at her and like remind myself of who she is inherently. And so I went to her Instagram, and my mother, listen, she would find TikTok trends and she would be like, look, I want to do this dance. You know what I'm saying? She was trying to go viral. And, but she would have all these pictures and I was scrolling. My mother is cheesing in every last one of them. And I'm like, hey, my mother, she's just jolly. How do I become more of that? How do I receive that? And so I feel like in transition, there's so much to gain from. There's so much to glean from when our loved ones transition on, when they pass their tests. What did they pass to you? You know what I'm saying? And so I really had to think about like all the things that I've been passed. And literally, I'm just grateful. It's like, yeah, I've had my moments of sadness. Yeah, I had my moments of tears. But I'm so grateful and I'm so joyful, And so I took a moment. I've been off the scene for a minute because I had a lot of things to handle, honestly. Putting my mother's services together because I had to send her home right because she was not going to have it. So I had to plan that, which was definitely something I had never done before. And so that was a learning curve, and just handling, affairs and all of that. And so it took me some time, obviously, to come back to social media, and I was going to take my time. Okay. I was not coming back prematurely. I was like, let me just give myself a little space, but I'm happy to be back. But I just want to say to any and all of you who have lost a loved one, whether it be recently, or even, years back, sometimes it feels so near and dear, just really think about what you've received. Really think about what's been passed, whether it was a torch, whether it was a baton. You know, there are things that I believe that are meant to be passed from generation to generation to generation. And so I'm just, like I said, y'all, I'm grateful. But hey Patrina, come on now. What's up, Global Misfit? I'm happy to see you all back in the room. Um But yeah, I also too, I just really feel like even in our lives, because we all have our time, what are we gonna pass? What are we called to pour out, to give to this generation, this earth? There's so much that we have to give. Um, that if we don't get the courage, and we don't have the boldness, and we don't have just the understanding to pour it out, like who's gonna miss out on what they're supposed to do and what they're called to do, because you didn't say, I'm gonna do my work. I'm not gonna pour out what's been poured into me. And I think that there's always this resistance and this hesitance with pouring out, because with pouring out creates this opportunity for you to be judged, this opportunity for it to be rejected and or not received. But it's not about who won't receive. It's not about who doesn't necessarily get it. But for the people who are supposed to get it, oh, trust me, they'll get it and they'll run with it. What's up, Be Thankful? What's up, Safiro? I'm so happy to see y'all. It's so good to see you all. Be beautiful. But yeah, y'all. So like I said, I'm gonna be back more often. I ain't really had all that much, to go into today, but I just wanted to share that perspective. But I will tell y'all a story before I get out of here. So I was in my mother's garage while she was still here, but she wasn't vocal. She wasn't really expressive. And so my brother and I were in the garage and we were cleaning. And I found, like, now mind you, the garage is jam packed. I'm like, Mommy, please, I don't want to have to deal with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Can you downsize? But she had so much stuff in there that my brother and I were just kind of chipping off some stuff. And so I came across this small box, and we're throwing stuff away. We're giving stuff to the Goodwill. But for whatever reason, I opened up this small box, and it was a Pandora box, like the Pandora jewelry store. And I found like this bracelet, and it was brand new. And it was literally like a needle in a haystack. I don't even know how I found it, to be honest with you, because it was just like, maybe I was supposed to open the box. Well, apparently I was. So I opened a box, and it's this bracelet, right? I don't know if y'all can see this bracelet. So I open the box, I see this bracelet, and it says, always by your side. And it has a heart with wings. And I was just like, I put it on immediately. And in my mind, I'm like, I know consciously what this is, but I didn't really process it, what it actually was. And so I put it on. I'm like, I go back in the room where my mom was at, and I'm like, Mommy, I just found this bracelet. Why is it in the garage? You know what I mean? And I'm just like, I put it on because I said, I'm going to always be by your side. Well, in that moment, maybe I'm not gonna say I was in denial, but in that moment, I was thinking about it from my perspective. Like, yeah, I'm gonna always be by my mother's side. And it took for me to be like, I don't know, 2 weeks removed from her passing. And it literally just clicked. And maybe, obviously, like, I probably should have known. But for her to even think to buy this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I mean, my mother got 4 kids, but I know she bought it for me. I mean, because I was her caretaker, you know what I'm saying? But for her to even go to a store and purchase a bracelet, and to have that forethought to know, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, to know that I'm not going to be here in the physical form very soon. And I want my daughter to know I'm going to always be by her side. Listen, y'all, I lost it. But God is good. That's all I really can say. Just take it one day at a time, sis. You'll have days when it'll be heavier than others. I pray that the grieving process will not be prolonged. Thank you, love. I greatly appreciate you for that message. Always by your side. So that's what I know. I know that all your loved ones, they always gonna be by your side. You gonna be good. You gonna be good. And so I'm happy to be back in front of you all. I definitely feel like God has given me some messages. And so we gonna get back to it. What's up, Be Thankful? What's up? What's up? Hold fast, y'all. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, what's up, the wellness preacher? Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Matter of fact, he was at the services. I did not really get a chance to speak to almost anybody. And that was just because we had to get to the burial grounds immediately. And it was just like, we was like on a time crunch. So I didn't get to speak to a lot of people, but I did see. So thank you so much so much for that. What's up, Cree 423? What's up, Amanda? Good to see you, girl. I've been seeing your posts, and I'm proud of you. Just know I am proud of you. Um, so yeah, so if y'all have any questions, feel free. If not, I just want to jump on and be accountable to the work that I know I'm supposed to do, right? And so I said I was supposed to go live last week, and then I kind of just pedaled back, and I was like, man, I got so much other stuff to do. So today was that day. Today was the day. Thank you for sharing these beautiful words of inspiration. Thank you, Alicia. Appreciate you. Thank you for being on. What's up, Minister? Is that Minister Will? Minister Will. But yeah, one thing I know is that we got to keep going. I think that sometimes people, they experience these transitions in their life, and for whatever reason, they feel like it's over. Listen, it ain't over. It ain't over till God says it's over. And when God says it's over, that means your time here is gone. But it's not over. And I think that we have to make sure that we don't allow life circumstances to paralyze us. Let it propel you. Let it propel you. And so I'm just like, listen, I'm about to press the gas. Okay. We about to be pressing the gas over here. Who want to press the gas with me? Who know what it is that they're called to do, and maybe been a little bit timid, maybe been a little bit fearful, but now you know it's time to press the gas. Ain't no more skip to my loo. We mashing the gas. Thank you, Sean, for sure. Listen, I had a little jitters. I was like, why am I so jittery right now? Like, let's get back to it. But it's almost like, I went to Sedona. Y'all know, if you pay attention to my lives, I go to Sedona often. And it's like an hour and a half away, and it's just beautiful nature. And so up there, Phoenix, Arizona is hot as all get out, y'all. It was probably like over 30 days over 112 degrees this summer. So it's so hot down here, but up north, it's a higher elevation and it's cooler. And so when I go up there, and I love getting in the water be, when I say freezing cold, I'll be like, my goodness, it's cold. And so, but once you get in it and you get acclimated to it, after a while, it feels amazing and it's refreshing. Well, in the same way, it's kind of like, with me, it's like when I lose that momentum, or if I haven't been doing what I know I'm called to do for a while, it takes a second for me to get back into it. So I'm like, why am I feeling nervous? Like, let me get back to doing what I know I'm supposed to be doing, But you said you're going to burn the road? Let's burn it. Thank you so much. That means a lot hearing you say that. I'm pressing my way. Listen, I won't hype you. I'm only telling you the truth, Amanda. But you're welcome. What's up, Coach Lenora? Or Eleonora? Hey. Well, I guess I'm going to get off, y'all. I don't know if I got anything else to say. Not right now. Be Thankful had a question that I want to hear your response to. Well, go ahead. Type away. We here. I ain't in no rush. Look, I'm in the comfort of my own home at this point. So I ain't got to, ain't no rushing. So What's your question though? Hey, hey. I'm waiting for that question. Yeah, we gotta get back to it. Back to life. Back to. Okay. My vocals ain't all the way there today, but you know what I'm talking. Back to life. Let's get back to it. All right, I ain't seeing your question. What's up, Miss Barbara? How you doing, love? Listen, I'm gonna be smiling from ear to ear because when I smile, I'm honoring my mother. Okay. Seriously, I'm about to be cheesing. Oh, this is about hair, girl. You're taking me back. No, I'm just playing. Locking my hair, did it change me spiritually? No, it changed me. I'm trying to think of the word in which it changed me. It caused me to be more authentic, or it was an expression of my authenticity, which I do believe from a spiritual perspective, God is calling us to be ourselves, right? And so I've been wearing locks for 20 years. I started locking my hair in 2001. I think I started locking my hair in 2001, 2002. Prior to that, I wasn't myself. You know what I mean? I wasn't authentically me. And so when I began to lock my hair, it caused me to align more. It caused me to come more into integrity with myself, my natural, authentic, rare self. And from that aspect, yes, I do believe that's a spiritual thing because God is one. God is not divided. He's integral. You feel what I'm saying? And that's being authentic. So from that standpoint, I would say, yeah, but not from any other standpoint. Like, I don't feel like I got more in tune. Like, I don't think my hair necessarily made me more in tune. I feel like being in tune with God and his spirit and what he's saying to me about my purpose and about my life, ultimately is that, if that makes sense. But locks are amazing. I wouldn't wear my hair any other way. And that's just because being a stylist for over 25 years, and then also having my own journey with locks are the easiest, they're the easiest hairstyle I ever had in my life. Like, I just get up days on end and never think about what I'm going to do with my hair. I love it. So, and that's just probably one thing, but in those 20 years, this is my third set of locks. So in those 20 years, I cut my hair, after my first 7 years. And the reason why I cut my hair after the first 7 years is because I do believe you have to be very careful about who you allow to lock your hair. And so I just really wanted to restart them. Just put it like that. So I restarted my locks and I wore them for like 7-8 months, and then I realized I wasn't really ready to lock it because I kind of still wanted to do, because I used to wear my hair like braided and twisted on the sides, and then I had like faux locks on top. So I used to wear like a lot of updos and stuff, and so I still wanted to experiment with that. So I cut them off I didn't cut them off. I combed them out after 7 or 8 months, and then I've had this set, I don't know, 7-8 years. Is about the relationship with God. I don't know if I know what that question is, but you can ask me. I don't know if that was a question or a statement. But yeah, I think authenticity is definitely key. And for me, and this is not knocking anybody who, wears artificial hair or anything like that. But for me, I felt like when I was weaving my hair and when I was wearing, it just wasn't authentic to me. You feel what I'm saying? Thank you, D4X. You said, I'm truly excited to see birthing of the gifts that you have experienced from your mother's transition. Always a pleasure. Listen, I don't even know all I got. And that we don't know all that we have. The gifts that we have, I believe that we're so multi-gifted. Everybody. I wholeheartedly believe that. I believe that we're multi-gifted. And sometimes they're very apparent. And other times they are dormant, and they will find their expression as we're faithful over the first gift. But whatever my mother has, listen, I'm excited because I'm like, I don't even know what it is. I felt like I was learning. Let me say this. Even in that time that I was with my mom, just staying in her house day in and day out, I was like in a master class. I was in a master class of learning how to serve. And it was my honor. But it caused me to literally, it was truly not about me at all that whole time. And it literally just shifted something in me. So I'm excited to see all of the things that will be the fruit of that transition, of that passing. Thank you. We going in and out. Yeah, but if anybody's I'm not over here trying to promote locks, but if anybody's on the verge of wanting to start their locks, one thing I can say consistently that clients used to say when they started their locks, they said, I wish I would have did this sooner. And that is like almost verbatim what people would say all the time. And for whatever reason, whether it was like just this fear of taking the journey, if it was, whether or not they felt like they were going to be beautiful, or if they were going to be accepted, or if their job would accept them. There's a lot of different reasons why people have this reservation or hesitation about starting their locks. But yeah, once you get into it, you realize, what was I waiting for? What was I waiting for? What's up, Sean? So I'm like doing this juice fast. I've been juicing I know I'm just being random right now at this point, but I started this juice fast, and this is a green juice. It's like really good, but I'm doing it for like 5 days, 5-day juice fast. But today I ain't gonna swell. Today I made a salad because I was like, I cannot be feeling low energy trying to talk to people. So I had me a little salad before I came in here. Yeah, that was a statement saying it's not about the hair, but your relationship. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What's up, Cafele? How are you? Cafele. Yeah, well, if you missed the first part of the live, it'll be on, this will be on YouTube. I'm excited, praying God blesses me and the lady who is doing them. Okay, you better vet them. When you go for a consultation, you need to be interviewing them. So what you into? In all seriousness. But yeah, just feel the people out. I think that's really important, because those locks, those parts you're gonna have in your head forever, ever, as long as you decide to keep them. So I think it's highly important who you have start your locks and maintain them. I feel like it's important about who you have in your head in general. And I think that's because, when somebody, y'all know I train stylists, but I always talk about how sacred it is to be a hairstylist. Because if you think about it, that's a very trusted position to have somebody behind your head. First of all. So with that being said, there has to be a trust factor. Thank you, Mr. Will. You gonna pray with her before? Can we take a moment of prayer before you go ahead and twist my locks? Listen, do what you gotta do. For real. Go to Amanda. Amanda, what city you in? Let them know what city you in. Amanda's amazing. I don't know what city she's in, but she's amazing. She's a loctician. Really, I'm drinking on the juice. I probably need to be drinking some water. Yeah, y'all. Well, if you're just joining late, you love my locks. My locks have been giving me lessons. Most sound trade with patience. Yeah, patience is, come on now. Patience is the first thing you really gonna get from starting locks. That's a real thing right there. That's real. Okay. I'm learning this new system, so y'all bear with me. But yeah, if you all are on right now still, what are some topics that you would like to discuss? I would love for you to drop those in the chat. I mean, I definitely have some things that I definitely want to talk about, and but I would love to know if you've been following me for some time, and there are certain things that you would love to uh, kind of discuss. Let's talk about those things. Whether it's something you feel like you're struggling with, whether it's something that you feel like you want insight on. Now, I don't claim to be no. I just know what I've experienced. I know the gifting that I've been given, but at the same time, I would love to know. Beautiful said obedience and God. Amen. That's. Listen, we can definitely let me write that down. Obey, obey, because not that we're doing it to be blessed, but the blessing is in the obedience. Yo, when you get in alignment and you say yes, God, and you start obeying, you don't even know what you don't even know what God got in store for you. For real. So obedience to God. What else? Who else got something they want to hit up on? Talk about. Anyone, anything. First time hearing about that. Okay. The Running Man. Amanda, what the Running Man for? How to be on fire for God. Listen, the Running Man is my favorite emoji because, well, that and the horse. Because I be feeling like when I get hyped, I be not be ready to run. I will literally take off running. And now I understand when they used to be in church and they would run laps. You just can't keep it in. You just can't do nothing. But I mean, it's just like you press the gas. Like we match the gas over here. Curl comfort zone. I definitely talk about that, but probably on my business page. I'm gonna start doing some more videos on the business academy. Transition from behind the chair. I would love to talk to you about that from behind the chair. Staying focused on your calling. Come on. I'm sorry. Am I yelling, y'all? Y'all, if I'm yelling, tell me. I apologize. Stay focused on calling. Okay, and your purpose. Okay. I love that. We're going to definitely talk about that. Transition from behind a chair. Let me write that down. Okay. Let me ask you, stay focused. Do you feel like you know what your calling and your purpose is? And you're aware of it, but you're aware of it, but you're just not focused? Or are you not aware? Do you feel like you're not aware? Which one is it? I would love to know. You gotta keep your eye on the prize. Transitioning from behind the chair has to do with if you're a hairstylist and you want to get liberated from the chair at some point as hairstylist, especially if God is calling you somewhere else, which was my case. There has to be a transition from the chair into what he's calling you to do next. And there are some stylists who feel that they are chained to the chair and they don't know how to leave. Importance of having a church home. I don't know if I can talk to you about that one. Did I say that out loud? Community. I would say it's community for sure. Awareness. I don't know if that's for awareness. But I would say community because I think that we're not called to walk this walk by ourselves. And we do need community. We do need tribe. And I think that that's a great benefit. We are the church. We house the Lord. But we got to get around some other folk. Oops. Sometimes the inner you gets in the way of what? Gets in the way of doing what you know you're called to do? I can relate. I think that that's a human element, you know. What do you feel like those things are getting in the way? What are those thoughts? You know, with me, when I coach people, I always talk about getting to the root. And we can say the enemy's getting in the way, but what about the enemy? What exactly is that root that's keeping you from doing whatever it is, right? I believe identification is key. You have to be able to identify it so you can attack it, you can deal with it. And many times it's just a misplaced thought, and or it's a lie that we have to dispel. Toxic energy. Thank you for that. Keeping yourself sane. Can you get away from it? I mean, is it something that you can get away from? Listen, can I tell a story? So, I don't know how to tell this without, because you want to keep people's privacy. But don't you, it's almost like you can't tell your story because you telling your story, telling somebody else's story, but you ain't really trying to out them, but it's a part of your story too. But like, you toxic. You know what I'm saying? It could be family members that are very close. Right? And so I personally had a little back and forth with these ninjas, recently. And I was just like, you know what? I always look and say, is it me? Like, God, like, is it me? Right? Because I'm always trying to be self-aware to make sure that, to find out where I may have been wrong in any instance and situation. Well, in this particular situation, in this particular relationship, I'm like, it ain't me. And I can't do this no more. So I remember I called my brother and I was just like, yo, I really think that I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't think I can do this anymore. And really and truly, I don't have to. Meaning, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no reason why I really have to. Like, other than the people-pleasing part of me that feels like I have to do because that's the right thing to do. No. In some circumstances, we just got to be real and just realize, like, oh, if I argue with a fool, who the fool? So if every time I engage with you, it's a butting of the heads, it's a bumping of the knuckles, then I'm a lover, not a fighter. So therefore, I can't continue to do this, right? And so, in my personal instance, I'm a jokey person, right? I like to laugh, and I'm lighthearted in it. And so if I feel like I can't bring all of me, even my jokiness with respect to the table, then I ain't gonna be half of me. I can't half function. You know what I'm saying? It's like some people, you don't even know what words you say, anything that you express to them, what's gonna be a trigger. It's like, dang, can I say anything to you? All right, I'm gonna have to just let me just shut up. And then it breeds an inauthentic relationship. So that's I don't know your situation. What's up, Counselor K? Hold on, I'm missing some stuff. Keeping yourself safe. Okay, I seen that one. My main thing is confidence in the Lord and confidence in myself. I love it. Let's go. And the Lord and self-doubt. Okay. Self-doubt. Trying to, hold on. I have a big nose, so I be a little insecure. Hold on, you talking about like literally your nose is big? Or you talking about you nosy? I ain't even trying to be funny. I'm just trying to understand what you said. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if we're talking about your physical nose, then we have to get to the root of why you're judging yourself. Listen, I'm pigeon toed. They used to call me duck butt when I was a kid. There are a lot of things that I feel, and thank you for clarifying that. There are a lot of things that I think that I could easily look at and highlight, right? As something that I don't like about myself. But I believe a lot of the journey of life is learning how to love ourselves, right? So, beautiful, you have to get to a place where you accept all of you. Because if that's what you highlight, if that's what you lead with, come on, Holy Spirit. What it does is you devalue yourself. And I think that it's highly important. Listen, you know what gave me so much confidence? I'm going to just be real. What gave me so much confidence is like I see people living in the fullness of who they are no matter what they look like. I see this guy, he was a motivational speaker, and this ain't even trying to be funny. This man didn't have no arms and no legs. And so when we think about people putting themselves out there and being all of who they are, no matter what somebody may deem as their shortcomings, this is what inspires. And that's what's inspired me. I'm like, oh, I'm over here tripping. I'm looking at stuff that nobody's even thinking about. You thinking about that. Listen, I'd have been pigeon-toed my whole life. I forget that I'm pigeon-toed. And maybe because I don't see myself walk. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else see it. You know, I ain't tripping. but embrace. So maybe we got to talk about literally the embracing and loving self. Because your nose ain't going to change, baby girl. I mean, unless you decide to go and change it. But, you know, I read this book. The book was called Psycho-Cybernetics. And it was about this, I forgot, plastic surgeon who performed all of these surgeries on people. And what he came to realize after doing clinical studies of these people is that they would come back 90% of the time and say they still didn't like it. And then they would get another surgery. And it didn't have as much to do with their physical appearance more so than it was their perception of their appearance. And so when you can go in and change the inside, the outside is almost like you see with new eyes. Come on now, with clear, dry eyes. You see with new eyes. And so what I believe God wants to give you is new eyes for who you are. See, it's the enemy that'll make you want to look at the things that are, it's almost like when I was just talking earlier about my mother, like, it's like, I lost her. No, I didn't lose her. She's not physically here, but I'm the offspring of her. I can look in the mirror. I can laugh. I can smile, and I can see her. So when we look at the perspective of I lost, or what I don't have, or who I'm not, and all the things I don't have that nose. No, girl, embrace it, your nose. I think that's the thing about how do I say this? Intentional God is, how he made us all very unique specifically for a purpose. I'm so grateful God didn't make come on. I'm so grateful he didn't make cookie cutters. What would the world be if everything was the same? My God. Don't you like to get up and travel and go to another city? Don't you like to go to Miami if you live in New York? Or don't you like to go to Thailand if you live? Why? Because you get a different experience. You get a different perspective. And so in the same way, when people encounter you, they got to encounter something different. You got to learn to love whatever it is that you don't necessarily embrace. And so you got to start doing the work. And it's the self-love work. Look, Sean, I was about to say, I know you're not calling me boring. Because I love myself. I love when I talk, okay? But no, I genuinely, I'm sorry, y'all just made me go off. I mean, not y'all, but I had to go off on that because I think some of the biggest things, this is just, every time I talk, God always brings me back to this. It's the self-love, because the self-love causes you to become bold enough and courageous enough to put yourself out there, to do your work, to share your gifts. We talked earlier about my mom. She poured out. She transitioned. She passed her gifts along. But how can we pass our gifts along? How can we gracefully transition and impart if we judging ourselves? Somebody help me with that. GP, are you with me? No, Sean, I know you wasn't talking about me. I'm joking. Can you hear me? Are we on the same page? So beautiful. If I don't say anything to you, what I will say is I want you to take some time to sit down and do some intentional work with loving yourself. Mirror work. And don't take that off to be meaning something, you know what I'm saying, superstitious or nothing like that. Like, you literally need to get in the mirror and start to embrace what you see. You literally need to go get the word of God and see how much he loves you and how much he was intentional about how he designed you. Come on. And you got to learn to love, appreciate, and respect that. Oh, thank you, Sean, for the clarification. Yeah, so we need you. We need you just how you are with your uniquely shaped nose. We need you. That's why I'm just like, this ain't no knock to anybody who has, you know, a BBL or anything like that. But it's just like, you know, I've heard men say, man, everybody looking the same. Everybody want that look, and they don't even know that look ain't nothing that I even want. You know what I'm saying? Long term. And so it's like but the society and the culture is set up in such a way that causes you to focus on the things that you don't like, so you can enhance those things, or to make you feel like there's something some product that you need to go buy, or something that you need to go do to change who you are, so you can become something that's desirable. For who? For who? See, now y'all about to get me fired up. I was just about to leave. Thank you, Sean. We are all wonderfully, and come on now. But see, if you don't, the Bible says we need to hide the word in our heart. If the Bible itself, if God himself says you are fearfully and wonderfully made, if we even see, the thing is, when we read, we can't just gloss over. We need to stay right in the context of fearfully, wonderfully made, designed, custom fit. No. He means that. So if we take that word and we apply it to who we are, then this is what shifts us. This is what helps us change how we see ourselves. Most of our issues is our identity crisis, because our perception of ourselves is off. Yeah, it's skewed. And it's done by intention. The Bible says that the enemy, he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. Come on now, John 10:10. Why? Because if he can take your identity, if he can take the way that you perceive yourself and contort it, we won't be doing nothing. We're going to go somewhere and hide. This is why your identity, your self-concept, your self-image, your perception needs to mirror what God has already said about you. Y'all want me to be fired up tonight. And we're rolling, rolling down the river. What's up, GSXR Con? Yeah, so I think that's key. But I got a lot of topics. Thank you all for dropping topics. What's the difference between your gifts and your Calling. Okay, you're gonna have to make me go do a study. Because I want to come correct. I mean, I can tell you off the top of my head. I believe that, so God has given me the gift to braid hair. He's given me the gift to speak. But in the way, my assignment and I would say calling, y'all will probably want to go study this for yourself. But now it's the way in which I'm going to use my voice, right? And I'm speaking about myself. So I've been given the gift to speak, but the way in which I'm called and how God wants me to use it and to what audience he wants me to use it to, I believe that's a part of my calling. Topic of life and death and the power of the tongue. Okay. Listen, I can talk all day about that. Because, listen, we got to speak life, be intentional when speaking. Yeah, for sure, Alicia. For sure. What's up, Cantis? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, so I wrote down all the topics that we've discussed, and if anybody else has anything to say, because y'all know y'all say one thing, I'm gonna get fired up. Hey, I had a hard time accepting me being 5'5", but it's short. I was about to say you 5'5", I'm 5'3" or 2. I don't even know what I am. No, but we accept it, and we begin to this is who I am, and we walk in the fullness of that confidence. It's so funny because when people see me in person, they are blown away that I'm like 5'2". 5'3". They be like, I thought you was so, I literally thought you was so much taller. I thought you was 5'7" or something like that. I'm like, where did you get that from? I never told y'all that. But I think it's just the presence. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all. If there's anything else y'all want to talk about. Anyway, my name is Essence China. And I just have to say, my mother gave me my name. She literally named me Essence China. And I'm just so grateful for that. Because when I say I love my name, I love my name. And, that was another thing that she gave me. So I'm super grateful for that. But yeah, my name is Essence China. And I have been called to speak the words that I'm speaking. And I had the gift to do so that God gave. And I believe that we all have to get in touch and ask God to start revealing to us the things that we've been given, right? All the gifts that because we've all been endowed. Where's my book is in another room, but we've all been endowed with gifts. And I'll probably come back and I really do a teaching literally on gifts, because God just been giving me some revelation about that. But we have to truly understand and grasp that. And I think a lot of times people will think to themselves, well, I'm not gifted, or I don't know what it is. And so because you don't know what it is, you just assume, or you just tell yourself that you don't have any. And we determined that was a lie. That's a lie, right? And so we have to come out of agreement with that lie, because if you are such in a place that you believe that you don't have them, then you'll never be able to give them. You'll never be able to serve them for other people to receive them, for you to pass them on, right? And when I say pass them on in a sense of what your gift, the effect of your gift. The effect. Yay. So, thank you for asking. I just started coming back on. Y'all know Arizona is the only state that does not change their clocks. So typically I go on between 5 and 6. Today I went on I think about 5:30. But it'll either be 5 or 6, and I'll probably start putting it in my stories when I know I'm gonna go live. I will be back more than likely on Thursday, but I may come back in between because I need to build that engine up again. We gotta rev it back up. So, but yeah, so around 5:30, 6 o'clock is when I go live. You shall have what you say. And I'll say this. Yes, but I also believe that it being in alignment and in agreement with what God has already said, right? So God has already spoken. It says the Bible says he decreed the end before the beginning, before the foundation. It was already finished. It was already done. So it's already been spoken, and therefore what we need to do is to hear what's been spoken and say yes and say what he says. Oh, I think I just got cut off. I'm gonna have to come back, y'all. Bye. Let's see if we can get it back.